We got Saturday night, December 29th, 8 p.m. Eastern, from the Orange Bowl in Miami Garden. It is the Orange Bowl in Miami Gardens at Hard Rock Stadium on ESPN, 8 p.m. kick. Oklahoma, Alabama, 80.5 the total. Alabama laying a full 2 touchdowns here, big man. Minus 14 across the board. Checking out SBR odds. It's pretty much every sports book on the page right at 14. Not a lot of opinion here from the other side of the counter. How would you look to bet Oklahoma, Alabama?
There's a lot of moving parts in this game. And obviously, Drew, we have, over 2 weeks until this game, about 15, 16 days until this game is played. But, you look at this, the moving parts. I mean, obviously, Tua Tagovailoa, what's his status? I mean, he'll play, but how healthy is he? Do we have to see Jalen Hurts at some point? And then on the other side, it's really hard for me right now to love one side or the other, because I think Marquise Brown is very important to Oklahoma. You look at their offense; they have some weapons, they have tons of weapons, but he gives them such a huge advantage down the field, that downfield threat. A lot of people will point to Alabama and their defense, and while they are another terrific run defense, one of those historic run defenses, if you can break down the pocket and get the Kyler Murray, that's the thing. If he's very elusive, very tough to get to, he's going to make plays in this game. This is, as we saw anything from Georgia with Jake Fromm, they can move the ball. You can move the ball. And with this potent offense, they're not going to be held down. It's going to be very difficult for anyone to hold this group down. The big problem in this game is obviously the elephant in the room. Can Oklahoma stop Alabama? And I don't think they can. But again, you look at this total at 81, and it's like, I just need everything to go right. I'm almost at this point, Drew. I'm almost looking to take the points here. I mean, I'm guessing, and I'm going to almost allude to that fact that I probably think this is a shootout. Does it get to 81? I don't know. But do I see it maybe 41-34? Yeah, I could definitely see that. I think the questions on Tagovailoa, I think the questions on, how healthy he is, the concerns with they can be moved, the ball can be moved on them. You would think this is some kind of shootout. To me, in a game like this, I want those 14 points. I just don't think Oklahoma gets boat raced. I think they're too good on offense to get boat raced. But that 96 in the country defensively, giving up 32 points a game, is very worrisome, obviously. But I need to know that Brown's somewhat healthy, because I don't know how healthy he's going to be.
Big man, I think this is a tricky handicap because when you look at who's been able to move the ball on Alabama, it's teams like Arkansas. It's teams like, hell, Louisiana Lafayette moved the ball a little bit in that second half. I mean, but granted, that wasn't against their first team, most likely. Georgia putting in 4 touchdowns. I do think Oklahoma will score. And no, I don't think Oklahoma will be able to stop Alabama. Alabama's going to put the ball in the end zone. That's almost a certainty. However, they could cause a couple turnovers. We saw them step up in big plays against Texas when they revenged that loss. I mean, this is an Oklahoma team that beat everybody on their schedule. Yeah, they did lose in the Red River rivalry, but revenged it in the Big 12 championship game. Their defense is not good by any means, but with a lot of time to prepare, they did change, to Ruffin McNeil, the defensive coordinator, and to get more into kind of like that Texas Tech philosophy of just causing turnovers. You never know what can happen. If the turnovers bounce your way, they can stay close. Kyler Murray at the quarterback position, obviously everybody knows him, the Heisman winner. And when you look at the quarterbacks that have given Nick Saban and bunch there at Alabama trouble, it's the Cam Newtons of the world. It's the Johnny Manziels of the world. It's the Deshaun Watsons of the world. Dak Prescott as well. And he fits this mold. Obviously a different type of player, but mobility, he brings that to the game. He's mobile, his feet, he can make plays, he can throw the ball downfield. I think Oklahoma is going to score as well. Also, big man, when betting this game, you got to remember that back door could be open. Alabama up by 20 late. Oklahoma's going to be gunning to put points in. They're not going to give up. And Grandma leaves that door open. I'd put that in my back pocket as well. I'm with you, man. If I'm betting this, I'm on the Sooners.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Someone in the chat's talking about that Heisman snub. That ain't gonna matter. They're not gonna risk injuries to put up an extra 7 points if this game's out of hand. If this game's out of hand anyway, you're not gonna cover. So I'm not really worried about that. I do think though, if this game, which I don't think it ever is, I think this game is within 2 touchdowns the entire way. I just think Alabama is you can beat them through I believe you can. We saw it last week, and you mentioned it, Drew. They're not a good defense, but they do use turnovers to kind of even it out. They did it against West Virginia. Look, if they don't have turnovers in that game against West Virginia, what happens? They lose because they couldn't stop Will Grier. They just couldn't. And as I talk about this more and more, I start to think to myself, do we see them punt at all in this game? I mean, seriously, these offenses are so dynamic. This is going to be such a great game, man. I'm so, college football times can be trying. I've had a tough year with it, but this is going to be one of those games you just sit back and you just watch, man. It's going to be great. I'm confident to take the points in these two matchups. Just hope that at least in one they can, and I think they both will hang. Oklahoma is underrated. I need Marquise Brown, though. I need him in there. If he can give you something, I think this game's within 2 touchdowns.
So we're both liking the Sooners and both liking the Dogs. And I'll tell you, big man, because this is a time of year where you kind of can't avoid it, hearing other people's opinion, especially in college football. It's a sport where I try to block out what other people are talking about because I don't want it to mess with my mind. At this point in the year, it's really tough to do that. And I'll tell you, I've heard a lot of people on the favorites, back-to-back favorites. It's interesting because I lean towards both of the Dogs. It sounds like you do as well. Does that surprise you?
Yeah, I think the smarter bettors are probably looking that way. I think a lot of people will use things like the snubs and that kind of stuff, and they'll almost talk themselves into laying points here. 14 when again this is the total's 81. It's going to be a shootout most likely. And in shootouts, taking the points is generally very lucrative. Plus, remember, Tagovailoa's injured. It's not like he's healthy and going to get all this work. He's injured too. I mean, it's not a foregone conclusion that even if he plays, how healthy is he? That's a concern to me because with Jalen Hurts, he's a nice player, but I don't. Listen, if Tagovailoa is hobbled, I might take the money line here because why can't Oklahoma go and beat Alabama without Tagovailoa? He's been the guy all year for them. I like Hurts, but I don't know if he could strike gold twice. In a matter of a few weeks. I think he just used kind of the game against Georgia. He just used kind of whatever that magic you get sometimes. To me, I don't think Bama rolls anybody here.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.